Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo Podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Gemma, and joining me this week, once again, I have my excellent friend, Kirk. Welcome back, Kirk.
Hello, good to be here. Award season, game season, exciting week, right?
It is, yes. It's been a big week. We're getting towards the end of the year. Everything's getting all wrapped up in a nice little bow. Years in review and game awards and all sorts of things like that. We've got our own Game of the Year show coming up, of course. This is not the show, but stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's do you have Spotify, Kirk?
No.
No, okay. But you know about the Wrapped thing that they do every year.
Yeah, because I have Apple Music. They do it too. I don't use
Right.
Apple Music in a way where they can generate anything of use for me because I'm
Mhm.
old. So I buy music and have a lot that I purchased over the
Mhm.
years. So I just listen to my own music that way, and nobody knows. I don't get followed, so they can't send me a
Right.
list of all the
Yeah,
things I've
fair
bought.
enough. Yes. Well, every year there's an annual, I guess, release of your year in review, what they call on Spotify, which is Wrapped. And of course, I don't know if that was the one that started it, but that seems to be the big, most popular one. And now everyone kind of does it. Like, I guess Apple does it. I know Amazon Music does it. YouTube does it as well.
Yeah,
And
YouTube now.
yeah, yeah. Because last year that was mine. I haven't really used YouTube for music this year, but I've been using Spotify. So I do have my first proper Wrapped, which is kind of cool. Anyway,
What could you guess what YouTube said I watched the most of this year?
oh, is it the Pure Nintendo podcast?
Nintendo was up there for like game trailers and things like that, but
Yeah.
it tended to focus on Godzilla and wrestling.
Oh, of course. That's cool. My YouTube was, I think it was in my top 5 definitely was the Pure Nintendo podcast because I'm always testing it when I upload it, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, which is kind of neat. Godzilla and wrestling. Nice. Do you watch, what do you watch with Godzilla? Trailers and little people
Uh,
talking about breakdowns and things?
well, trailers. There's this Chibi Godzilla show that is on once a week. It's like this tiny little 3-minute animated funny kind of thing that I check out. But then
Sure.
whenever there's a new Godzilla trailer or teaser, I have to watch it 15
Of
times.
of course, yeah. Very nice. Well, Nintendo Music, I think, launched, I think it was October of last year. So they didn't do this last year to my knowledge, but Nintendo Music is an app and they had their first version of Wrapped, which is called Year in Review, which is really cool. So I know that won't affect you because you don't have Nintendo Music just yet.
Right.
Still waiting for that moment for something to kind of convince you. But I think it's really cool. I think we all, generally people seem to really like these. I enjoy it. I think it's really fun to look back and it's not exactly nostalgic because it's only 1 year, but you do feel like, oh yeah, I used to listen to that back in January, February, whatever. Oh yeah, that was the big release this year that I really enjoyed, whatever it is. And so I think it's really cool, especially with Nintendo Music, because it has been growing pretty much every week this year. There's been a new soundtrack added, so it's been steadily growing, and there's lots of cool stuff on there. Metroid Prime 4 recently was added, which we talked about last week, and that was a great soundtrack. So I'm surprised that didn't make it into my year in review, but maybe I haven't listened to it quite enough, and B, maybe they do the year in review at a point like in time, and maybe it didn't cut it because I have been listening to that really in the last week or so. So
Yeah.
yeah, might have missed the cut for that one.
Well, what was it? What was at the top for you?
Okay, so Super Mario World was at the top,
Okay.
which I'd forgotten. I did listen to a lot earlier this year. I got really into that. I mean, I love Super Mario World. It's probably one of my favorite all-time games, like all-time favorite games. Yoshi's Story was up there, and do you remember me reviewing Street Fighter 6 and listening to Yoshi's Story soundtrack?
Yes.
Yes, a few months ago. So that was in there. Golden Sun was in there, and I think that
Oh,
was yeah. I listened to that because I was trying to listen to soundtracks every week as they came out. What else was in there? Even Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was added this year, that was up there because I gave that a listen. One random song that I'd completely forgotten that I was really into earlier this year because I loved this song. It's Super Mario Brothers 2, the end credits scene/song, which is just a really sweet little lullaby that because it's one of the only games I ever completed, like one of the first games I ever completed as a kid. It was Super Mario Brothers 2. And the end credits, it's like Mario sleeping and dreaming of its little adventures that he just had. And there's just this cute little twinkly music playing. And when I found out that that was on Nintendo Music, I played that a lot, sort of when I went to bed, kind of at night. It was just really sweet. So that was in my top songs as well. So very Mario related, very Mario themed there. Yeah, but really
Does it
cool.
tell you how long you listen to each track or soundtrack?
Not to each one. It gives you like how many. Oh no, it does. It's well, sort of. It tells you your most played extended track. It gives you your most played playlist, most played soundtrack, but it doesn't really tell you the time spent on
Okay.
it. It gives you kind of your top 5. It gives you an overall how many minutes or hours you've listened to music on the app this year. So mine was, I think it was over 600 minutes, which I guess is 10 hours ish, which, I think is pretty good when you're competing with Spotify and, actual gaming as well and podcasting and all sorts to fit in 10 hours. It doesn't seem like that much, I know, but I think it's decent. I think it's decent. I know a lot of people online. I think even Josh from the show last week posted his during the week and he had something like 14 hours or something. I can't remember, but yeah. So it's pretty cool. So if you're a listener, if you listen to Nintendo Music, let us know your top tracks, I guess. Does this at all convince you to think about considering playing songs via the app next year?
No. Although I understand the entertainment value of all these wrapped things,
Mhm.
I don't need anyone to throw back at me, I guess, the amount of time I spent on
Mm.
various things, because that's not how I rate my music. It's, just because I listen to one thing a lot doesn't mean that it's my favorite. So,
Mm,
all it's
mhm.
doing is telling me what I spent, listen to the most, not what I
Yeah.
enjoyed the most.
True, true. Yeah, that's fair.
Unlike, which I think we're getting to here in a moment, I act like I'm above all this. I'm not, of course. Like I said, I understand that. I love Nintendo's rap that they do for the
Mm,
games you played,
mhm.
because to me, when I'm playing a game, the more time I spend playing a game, that's a clear indication, obviously, that I loved it,
Mhm.
um, as opposed to it was just the newest thing. So,
That is true. Yeah, I totally agree. And yes, we are going to talk about that because I was looking into it this week thinking, well, we're at mid December. It
yeah.
usually comes out around this time of year. And Nintendo said it won't be coming out until January this year. So you won't get your year in review for the Switch until January. They didn't say when in January, just January 2026. And I mean, I want to know what you think about this because, yeah, like you said, you think this one is a bit more worthwhile and enjoyable and kind of makes more sense. I also really enjoy it. I love to see what I was playing, in January, February, March, what I was playing the most overall. Different, I think they classify it by genres as well, don't they? Like, what was your favorite genre? It's
Mhm.
really neat. And I'm, this year I've been thinking in the back of my head, oh, this year what will be my number one game, and it's probably Hollow Knight for me, honestly. But I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, I've been playing a lot of Donkey Kong, um, you know, but then Metroid is recent, and you wouldn't normally get that in your review because it's such a late year game, right? So is it better that we get all of 2025 now in our kind of year in review wrapped deal? Do you think? Or do you think
Yeah,
people
I
will
think
have
so.
forgotten? Yeah?
I've always found it weird that they do send this out in early December,
Yeah.
or mid December, and yeah, that's when I was looking, because I kept the emails, all of them,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Nintendo has ever sent me with my wraps, and they always
Mhm.
are. The latest was the 22nd, in 2020. I got mine on December 22nd,
Mhm.
and the earliest was not last year, 2023. It came out on the 13th.
Oh, there you
Um,
go.
yeah. So, but that could change quite a bit, because as reviewers, we play games a lot. So that's
Mhm.
almost an entire month, half a month of inaccurate reporting from Nintendo.
Yeah. Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, give it
Yeah.
to me in January.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be cool. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe it's nice also that it's not going to be amongst all the other noise of the other
Yeah.
wrapped kind of things or the other games of the year type of stuff. And then in January we can all go and reflect properly on the year that's gone. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We will obviously tell listeners, and we'll talk about it on the show when we do get ours. But that won't be this week, obviously, because it's not a thing yet. So don't
Well,
worry.
one thing
Yeah,
one
sorry.
thing Nintendo does that bothers me, though, is they
Mhm.
don't keep the like, that information is all stored online. The email basically links to Nintendo, and you get the
Mm.
details there, and it
Mhm.
goes away. I want to be
Yeah.
able to click on my 2020 and compare it to my 2025 and,
Yeah, me
see how
too.
many hours I spent and, which games or like, let's say Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition or whatever it
Mhm.
was called came out. How much time did I spend playing that versus the original version? I'd like to know, but
Yeah.
they throw it all away.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit sad. I agree. I wonder if there's a way you can save it. It's kind of like it's a web page, but is it just HTML or is it like some special thing that you can't download type of thing? I'm not sure. Yeah.
I've done screen captures, and I
Oh yeah.
know that the Google, I'm sure other or Chrome, other browsers have it too. But you can do that thing where
Mm,
you like take a screen capture, and it will
true.
grab the entire page, even like beyond what you can actually see on your screen. Just
Hmm.
creates a long PDF of the whole thing. So
That's
maybe I'll
true.
start doing that.
That's a good idea. I think I will too. Yes. And I think I do the same. I think I do screenshots usually as well because, you
Yeah,
post it on social and I think they make it easy to post from the page. Like you
yeah.
can just click a thing saying share or whatever, which is neat.
But do they
But,
support Blue Sky though?
ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it might depend on your phone. Like it might just open up. If you're on your phone, it might just open up sharing on where do you want to share it kind of thing. Or
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll have to check. We'll check in January when it happens and we'll see how easy that is. Yeah. Very cool. We look forward to that. Next up, we have the Virtual Boy hardware, which is now available for pre order. And this, I can't remember when this was announced, sometime during the year.
That was a few months back.
It was, yeah. And so we're looking at, is it 99.99 for the Virtual Boy? And it's kind of, it looks like it's similar to the original in terms of it's still a actual device that you sit on a little tripod or whatever it is, and it has a controller, etc. So I just don't know how different it is to the original. I assume it's different, like it's optimized or it's smaller or lighter or something, but it certainly looks similar. Like it's the red color with the black. It comes out on February the 17th, a couple of months away still. I'm super curious about this one because I think I've mentioned this before. It didn't release in Australia originally. I only tried it a few years ago in Japan at some random shop that had one set up. So I was pretty excited to try it. So I'm curious to get it, but I would get it. I would probably play it a handful of times and probably never play it again, to be honest. But I still kind of want it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I can say that
Yeah.
if that's your approach to it,
Mhm.
then consider the cardboard option, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
only $30 and which I pre-ordered.
Nice. Okay. Yep.
I never even saw a Virtual Boy in the wild ever.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think I even knew it existed until long after it had been discontinued. Maybe I saw a commercial for it. I can't remember.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, the drawback to the cardboard one, of course, is you have to slide the Switch into it, kind of like you did with the Labo 3D thing that they were doing,
Ah, yeah. Mhm.
which means you're sitting there holding it up to your face, which can be tiring. But I think the reason why I went ahead and did it is because I don't know that any of these games are games that I would play for more than 3 to 5 minutes at a time anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not my 150-hour JRPGs.
Mhm.
So to me, the $30 cardboard version was enough to experience it and share it with some people, who might get a kick out of the 3D effect. So why not?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Exactly. Yeah, because it does connect to the Switch too, so I don't know how the proper one does that. Is it just kind of wirelessly streaming or something like that, as opposed to the cardboard one where you actually sit it in? This one
Yeah.
can receive the signal? Yeah, okay. Because, yeah, I'm looking at the pictures, the control is actually not a Virtual Boy control, it's like the Switch Joy-Cons, basically, by the looks of it, so
Well,
yeah,
it
because
does say in the description, insert your Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch system to use. So the word
ah,
insert, are we actually shoving it into that piece of
yeah,
hardware up there? Maybe.
because it doesn't show that in the picture, which is a bit misleading because that would be bulky and heavy as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess that
I don't
makes
know.
sense though, because you're playing it through Like, it is being played through the Switch 2 as you would play, like, a GameCube or a, Super Nintendo game, but
Yeah.
it just won't look any good on your TV or in handheld mode because it's meant to be done in virtual reality, so it needs this system to convert it, I suppose, which is
Yeah,
interesting that
like,
it can do that.
present 2 images of it on the screen so that each eye is seeing it differently,
Yeah,
unlike
exactly.
the 3DS. I guess
Yes.
there were still 2 on the 3DS, it's just they were behind each other? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I don't know either. So I suppose it's pretty clever that they can do this. VR is I don't know. Would you say it's popular? Not really, but it's still a
Mm,
thing. Some in some circles. I don't know. Yeah. Well, listeners, let us know if you're interested pre-ordering either the full model, which is like the $100 mark, or the cardboard version. Yeah, very keen to hear your thoughts. I will pick one of these up, and it comes out in February. My birthday's in March, so that's good timing. Maybe I can ask for it for a birthday
yeah.
present. But maybe I'm better off getting Amiibo or a game instead. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I guess I was wrong on the price, it's only 25 well, only it's $25, not 30, and
Okay.
apparently you can only order it once because I bounced back to the page and it's telling me that my item limit is reached. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
at least thankfully limiting this to one. And I believe you have to have an online subscription, Nintendo Online subscription, in order to even order it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Which makes sense because you can't play
Mm,
the games without the online subscription.
true.
So way to stick it to the scalpers,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because yeah, people could buy, 10 or 100 without even having a Switch to like, let
Hmm.
alone an account, and then, flog it off on eBay or something. It also says for use by children 7 plus only, so I guess, there's a bit of a safety just because of the way it looks, I suppose, in terms of how the images hit your eyes and your retina and how that affects your brain
Yeah,
potentially, not for younger kids.
I
So,
think they
yeah.
had that same warning for the 3DS too, that
They
they
did have
discourage children from
something.
using it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why they made the 2DS, right? So that kids
Hmm.
could play the games, but in a safer format for young minds, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting. Let's move on to some more news before we get to the awards and all the announcements that came out of that. But TMNT Splintered Fate, which is a game I've been playing on and off for a little while now because I reviewed it and there was been DLC. The latest announcement is that the team is putting together a Switch 2 edition, and it's actually coming out on December the 16th. You can upgrade it if you have the original. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's only $2.49, which is a slightly random amount, I would say. Um, but yeah, it does give you faster frame rates and other upgrades as well, which is pretty neat. So I'll probably try this one, I think, on December the 16th. Because, yeah, I have enjoyed this game. It is really fun for a Turtles game, kind of a different approach in terms of that roguelike approach. So it's nice to see that and this is the case with a lot of games, getting these Switch 2 editions. I think that's really neat. I wanted to ask you, Kirk, about that because is it different to how the Wii U failed, right? And then they ported a lot of games to the Switch, and so a lot of us double dipped. But this is kind of different. Switch 2 editions are generally free or as a small price for an upgrade. Do you think this is the same situation or different or better, or what do you think about that?
I think it's different. Mostly because I feel like a lot of people, the Switch and the Switch 2 aren't different enough for most
Mhm.
people to feel like they would even need to upgrade a game. Um, so unlike say Wii U to Switch, where it's a whole new system and they're mainly doing it because a lot of people just didn't even buy it on
Mhm.
the Wii U, so they're trying to get sales. I think the upgrade that most people are, the upgrades they're adding to the Switch 2 version, I agree, aren't enough to make people buy it again.
Mhm.
So the upgrade paths, whether it's free or 250 or $10, I think that's a fantastic approach to it,
Mhm.
where they're basically acknowledging this is a better way to play the game, but it's not so different that you need to feel compelled to do it if they're going to charge.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I agree as well. I think that's a really good point.
And you know what? I'm going to add something in here too because there's another game that's getting a Switch 2 edition that
Oh,
I was
yeah.
going to talk about last week that didn't,
Mhm.
but there's something even more excited about it.
Ooh, okay. Yes.
Shoot and Order,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a game that I reviewed earlier this year and is one of my favorites for the year.
Mhm.
is there's now a Switch 2 version out for that you can get, but even better is they are releasing physical editions for both the
Ah.
Switch 2 and the Switch are coming out in spring of 2026. So if you haven't bought it yet, you may want to wait. The
Mhm.
crazy news here is that the Switch 2 edition, from what I can tell, is not a game key card.
Oh, that's cool.
They have a
Yeah.
photo of the box. You can't pre-order it yet, so I don't see any official language on it, but the photo of the box does not have that statement at the bottom saying that it's a code on a card. So it looks like even the Switch 2 is getting an actual physical edition of the game.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that's really neat. Yeah, I love that. I think that's really cool, especially if it's a good game, one that's, that you've enjoyed, especially. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great, obviously, the way that Nintendo's done it with the Switch and the Switch 2, they are very similar formats, different systems, of course, and much, much better capabilities for the Switch 2. So it makes sense that they've given people this pathway to upgrade
Yeah.
games. And I'm glad developers are jumping on board and doing that as well. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah. And I think every game that I'm still in the process of playing where they would release one of these updates, I would do it every time. I have a Switch 2, I may as well get the best experience I can, especially if they're adding something like mouse controls where it makes
Yeah.
sense to do
Mhm.
it instead of just visual enhancements. But I
Yes.
don't think if I have completed a game, a move from Switch to Switch 2 would not be enough for me to reinstall it and replay it.
Yeah. Yep. That makes perfect sense. I agree as well. Cool. Thank you. Let's move on to a teaser trailer. Now, this is actually part of the Game Awards. So it leads into the Game Awards, but there was a new Mario Galaxy movie teaser that was aired during the Game Awards show. So the Game Awards aired on, was it Friday, the 12th of December, which is good timing for us in the podcast because we're recording the next day. But it's a very short teaser, but it's always good to see little tidbits of a movie that you're excited about. So I'm very excited about this movie. I will see if I can grab it for YouTube. I'm not sure if it's available for me to grab in terms of putting it into this podcast on YouTube, but it basically is a little scene with Mario and Luigi and Bowser Jr. having a little fight, and it kind of leads on from the original trailer where Bowser Jr. Makes his first appearance. He's got the big paintbrush. He's got the mask. And I think he shoves Mario out of the way, and Mario gets pushed quite far back. So, Bowser Jr.'s got some strength happening there. But Luigi jumps in and like knee kicks him. I don't know what you call that move, but like his knee hits Bowser Jr.'s like face kind of thing. And it's really cool.
I
And
feel like I should have a wrestling term for that
Yeah,
move.
yeah, there must be, right? Luigi lands and he's, like, looking really tough, and then he goes, "Ow, ow, ow, ow," and, like, his knee
Mm.
hurts. It's quite funny. And that's the full teaser, but it's cool. So I did enjoy seeing that. Yeah, very much looking forward to this movie. It comes out in April, so we've only got a few more, well, 4 months to wait. We'll definitely be talking about it more in the new year once we get, I guess, another trailer or as we lead up to it and when it comes out, of course. But yeah, for now, a little teaser, check it out. But it does lead us to the Games Awards because that happened. We didn't watch it per se because we kind of don't love game awards, right? Or awards shows in general. And it's a bit of a, I think it went for like 4 hours or something, this show.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'd rather go to a graduation ceremony.
That's saying something, yes. I was working, like, it was during the day for me, so I was just kind of following the news feed, as it were. I certainly didn't watch it. I tuned in a little bit every now and then, but I just every time I tuned in, it was someone talking or something boring. Anyway, I don't mean to be negative, sorry. The Games Awards is good in a way because it does give, I suppose, developers and fans a chance to celebrate the games of the year. And as much as we don't necessarily like the dude, is it Jeff? What's his last name?
Keeley, I think it's
Keeley.
pronounced.
I don't know how people feel about him exactly. I don't really know him that well, but people love him or hate him, sort of thing. But this is kind of his show and whatever. It's become this big thing. But he does get a lot of cool announcements during the show, which is kind of neat because at least we get to hear about upcoming games, which is really cool. And there were quite a few that affect us this year. But first of all, because Nintendo does get a little bit slighted at these awards, which is the other reason we maybe don't appreciate it as much as we could. But this year, we talked about the nominations. Nintendo had quite a few in terms of Donkey Kong and Mario Kart World. and came away with a few wins, which was really nice. So they didn't get Game of the Year, which was, I think Donkey Kong was nominated for that one. Probably wasn't going to win, even though it's a great game and we love it. It just had a lot of other contenders. And as I said, it's not a Nintendo centric award show. There's a lot of other fans who, like playing on PC or other consoles. But the winner was Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which actually came away, I think, with 9 awards. And this is not available on Nintendo consoles currently, but I do wonder whether it will at some point come to Switch too, simply because it is a big popular game that I think would run fine on Switch too. Like it's an RPG style thing. Would you consider that a possibility? And would you like to see it come onto the Switch too?
This is the game that Sam has recommended to me, and he's told
Yeah.
me from I think he's played it. And playing it, he said this is your kind of game. Except
Hmm.
he told me I need to work on my parrying. Apparently,
Right.
that's very important in this. So
Okay.
the timing of that. But yeah, I think so. I do think it's a possibility. I think especially, if the game's this big,
Hmm.
obviously they've made enough money to afford the port.
Yeah.
So they would just need to decide if they're going to make that money back, and the Switch 2
Yeah.
audience is large enough. So yeah, I think it's a good possibility.
Yeah, so we'll see, in the next few months or year if that happens because yeah, it is a trend that is happening a lot more now with big
Mhm.
games like this coming to Switch too. So we'll see. We'll see. Donkey Kong Bonanza did end up taking home the Best Family Game award, which was neat. And I think the family game is kind of that category that people sort of peg Nintendo with.
Yeah, it's it's like the kid table, right?
Yeah.
We'll give them best. I mean, why is Donkey Kong Bonanza even a family game? I mean, I get the whole family can play it,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
when I think of family game, I think of something like Super Mario Party, where
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
all going to sit down with 4 or 5 people and play it together. You can't do that with Donkey Kong
No.
Bonanza. So
I
it's
feel
a
like
weird category.
it is. I think they mean it's family friendly. That's what I'm guessing because you're right. I think of it as like Mario Party or some kind of sporting compilation, something that you can play together. Even Mario Kart World, I suppose, would be considered like a party game, right? Something you play together as a family on the couch. Donkey Kong Bonanza is, I mean, it is a two-player game technically. It's a one-player game. It has two-player elements. You can play as Pauline. It's I wouldn't say it's a family game from that perspective in terms of the multiplayer aspect for sure. It's more like I think they consider it to be family friendly because it's, you know, probably G-rated or whatever. Like it's available for everyone. There's no cursing or violence. It's, I don't know. I'm thinking that's what they mean by that, which is why it becomes this little kiddie table Nintendo, because Nintendo has that reputation of being family friendly, right? Which they are more or less, but still, it seems like a token award then, in a way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it
yeah.
makes me wonder the games they don't consider family friendly, if you stripped out the elements that make them not family friendly,
Hmm.
then would those games still win the awards that they're winning? Would they
Mm.
take the prizes away from Nintendo? Like it's just a weird like with the Academy Awards, they don't have here's the best R-rated movie and
Yeah.
here's the best PG rated movie.
Yeah.
Everything's just put in together. So the
Yeah.
separation, that's it feels like they're just condescending to Nintendo by
Hmm.
giving, a Nintendo game best family game every year.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I think that's how it comes across, which is a bit sad. But anyway, at least it did win, I suppose.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
yeah, imagine if it didn't. And Mario Kart World did win best sports/racing game, which is cool, I think, as well. I love to see Mario Kart World get some love because it has been very popular, and it was a launch game. Obviously, it came with the Switch too. You could bundle it, or at least it was a launch title. But it has had its elements of controversy. As this year has been, I feel like a very controversial year. People just love to get on their high horse about a lot of things, particularly with Nintendo. So,
Yeah, there has been a lot of blowback on, like, subtle changes in
mm,
games that people have been waiting on. It's like everything that comes out, somebody's gotta find something to complain about.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
it's all for hits, they
Oh,
just
yeah, that
yeah.
is exactly right.
What do they call
So,
it? Clout chasing or something? Is that the term that I've seen used? I don't know.
I don't know, like clickbait, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is what I would call it. But yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah. The other game, which is not a Nintendo first party game, but it is on Nintendo Switch 2, is Hades 2, which won Best Action Game. I should have actually also, I didn't write this in the notes, but I think Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong did win Best. I think it was it was adventure, something adventure. Sorry, I didn't write this one down. It did come away with an award as well, which is really cool. So it's good to see some indie games that are quite popular and big getting recognition. It's not just the big players, thankfully. Although Clair Obscur, I think, actually is an indie game. I think it did get best debut indie title and best indie game as well. So
Well,
yeah,
that's fantastic for them.
yeah,
That's great.
that is pretty cool. So yeah, that's really nice to see. So yeah, I guess let us know, listeners. Did you watch the show? Do you care about the show? What did you think about the results? I'm just happy Nintendo was at least there, as in terms of they were getting nominated. They actually did come away with awards. Doug Bowser was there to receive one of the awards. I don't know if he was there in person or he was just on screen, but he did accept them, which is cool. So Nintendo was at least present, which I think is nice. So hopefully it's moving in a good direction, but who knows, right? Anyway, that's the awards for the for the year. They're done. But there were heaps of announcements, and some pretty cool ones too. So we'll run through some of those. Not all of them affect the Switch 2, but they could affect the Switch 2. For example, the first one here is Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. There was a teaser shown for that. It's directed by the Knights of the Old Republic director, Casey Hudson. And this is a brand new single player action game. It was said to be in development for PC and consoles. I don't think there was a release time window, like time frame or release window type of thing just yet. I think it's pretty early still. Hopefully this does come to Switch 2. Star Wars has a pretty good run with Nintendo. Like, we do get a lot of Star Wars games, at least even if it's later, we do tend
Mhm.
to get them. So I'm sort of fingers crossed that will happen for this new game as well, but we'll see. Next up is Pragmata from Capcom. And this seemed like a really big one. And I think this was already a game that was coming on April 24th of 2026. And the announcement was that it's also coming to Switch 2, which is pretty cool. And I believe it's on the same day. The trailer looked really neat. I don't know if you got to see this one. Sorry, I didn't link it in the notes there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
this looks like maybe a cool game that you might be interested in.
Yeah, it looks pretty action heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when it focuses on action adventure versus the turn based, which I prefer,
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a little pause to take a look at it. But yeah, it looks
Yeah.
great. The visuals are great, and I see it's been in development forever. This game,
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it before, but doing the research, it's all the way back in 2020. This game was announced.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that either. Yeah. Okay. So it's been, quite a few years and it's coming out next year. So it will be a 6-year, development cycle, which is pretty long. And one of the characters now, is this the girl on the back of the mech kind of thing? Diana? Is that who that is?
Yes.
Yeah. So Diana's getting an amiibo as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Capcom's pretty good with supporting amiibo, I would say, as a third
Yes.
party. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about another one here in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Cool. Do I know about that? Oh, yeah, I do know about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it. The next one, which I think Trev, who's on the show usually, he would be very excited about this one. It's
Yeah.
a new Mega Man, a new side-scrolling, action run and gun Mega Man called Dual Overdrive. This was, I think, a complete surprise to everyone. I think this was the first time this was announced. Coming not till 2027, still a couple of years off, but it is coming to Switch 2, and it looks really cool. I hope this is the game that everyone wants. I think Trev on the show with you and I, Kirk. I think even relatively recently he did mention, why is there no new Mega Man? Like, what's happened to that franchise, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been, I don't know, sorry, I should look this up, but it's been quite a few years since the last one. It is a Capcom developed game as well. So I'm really happy to see this back. I've only dabbled in Mega Man. I've definitely played it, definitely enjoy it. I'm not as nostalgic about it as Trev is, but I definitely like the series and I'm interested to see where this goes. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You are also, I think, similar to me, where you're not super into it, but maybe have tried Mega Man along the way or something like that, potentially.
Yes,
Yes.
I think in one of the the subscriptions, whether it's in Nintendo Online or something like that, I've played an old game
Hmm.
through one of those services before. I haven't ever hopped on anything new. Um, So yeah, if I ended up getting this game, I'd basically be considering myself coming to it fresh.
Mhm.
Um, but boy, the visuals look great
They
in it, don't
do.
they? Like,
Yeah.
I really like what some of these developers have started doing with the graphics in 2D games. The amount of detail and the use of color is
Mhm.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah, totally agree. Similar to, I guess, things like Hollow Knight, Silksong, um, even, Prince of Persia, the recent one. They do a really good job with, yeah, those 2D platformers, just making them really pop, like, visually.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
pop, yeah. Really, really cool. Because I love my 2Ds. I love my 2D action, so it's good to see it get some love. Now, we also had some Resident Evil Requiem, I guess. There was a new trailer. This one we already know is coming February 27th of 2026, and it is coming to Switch too, which is super cool. Now, I think they announced that Leon would be playable because I think there was a question mark over his presence in the game previously. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think in what we've seen so far, everything focused on Grace
Hmm.
Ashcroft. So at the awards yesterday, Capcom sent us press releases on all of these. So
Cool.
that's how I got the details on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've announced that Leon Kennedy will be in it, and apparently they're going to be dual protagonists. He's not just making a cameo; he's very much a playable character.
Hmm.
But from what I see in the press release, when you're playing as Grace Ashcroft, it's going to focus on kind of a survival horror approach to gameplay. And when
Right.
Leon is in it, it's going to be more action oriented. So we're kind of going to get two different. I mean, the Resident Evil gameplay has shifted quite a bit over the years, back and forth, and they're
Hmm.
giving us one game with like both of those extremes. It looks like,
Well, that's kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah,
neat.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I love it. I love that it's you've got both parts of the gameplay, but also with a different character. Really helps to differentiate those sections as well. So I guess they'll be on a mission, whatever investigation, whatever it is, taking different paths. Like Leon's gonna be doing something over here, fighting more action based battles, while Grace is gonna be trapped with some. I feel for her because she's going to be doing the scary stuff, the
That's
survival horror stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
she just has to hide and probably will have to fight with what, a knife? She gets the knife and
Yeah.
Leon's getting all the weapons and I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, yes, and Grace will be getting an amiibo as well, so this is what
Yep.
you were alluding to earlier, in summer '26, so that would be, what's that, June, July kinda thing, so a few months after release then by the sounds of it, but again, Capcom, right? They
Yep.
make, Resident Evil supporting amiibo, which is really cool.
Yeah. They had themselves a day at
They
the Game
did!
Awards.
Yeah.
Just fantastic announcements from them.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, they're a good, team, good company because they do tend to give players or fans what they want, and they do tend to have pretty good announcements, and, everyone's pretty excited about this one. I know Justin is on our team, isn't he? He's very excited about
Yep.
Resident Evil Requiem. Next up is Phasmophobia, which is coming to Switch 2 in 2026, and this, I believe, is it's a first person kind of, horror game. Would that be right? Ghost hunting, and it's multiplayer as well. I haven't played this. I haven't. I don't know a lot about this, to be honest, but it is exciting that it's coming to Switch 2. We love our horror games to an extent. I don't love being so immersed sometimes because it's pretty scary. But I love that they exist, and I love that we're getting another one for Switch 2. Do you know much about this one?
I don't, and I should have done more research on it ahead of this because, as you mentioned, we love our horror games, and we have the new Fatal Frame game coming out,
Mhm.
and I think February, is it February or March? Maybe it's early March. And now this game to look forward to. So yeah, I'm very interested in this one, and I think our Halloween 2026 episodes are going to be
Yeah,
much more
yeah.
interesting next year than they were this year.
Yeah, yes, we'll have a lot to talk about. So yeah, keep an eye out for this one. It doesn't have a release date, just 2026, but the announcement was that it is coming to Switch 2, which seems kind of obvious in a way, but yeah, still good to see it getting that love. And we'll find out more about that when it gets a firm release date. Next up is another Switch 2 release. This one, I believe, is exclusive to Switch 2. It's called Orbitals, and it's a co-op space adventure. Now, it looks like a bit of a, what would you call it? Cartoony approach, I suppose, or an anime
Yeah,
style, I'd
it's
say.
yeah, definitely. Like I don't know enough about anime to pinpoint the era, but there was a specific era of anime that this is definitely
Yeah.
targeting
Yeah.
visually.
Yes, it is, and it looks really neat. The trailer looks really cool. Definitely got some very strong Japanese vibes in there. I hope it's cool. It looks really fun. It's a neat little outing that took me by surprise. Now, did it have? Sorry, did I say it had a release date? No, I don't know actually if that one had a release date or if it was just coming to Switch 2. I don't think it
Let me
had a
see what
specific date. I think it
pretty sure
was.
I have a press release on this one too. So let me see what I can turn up on that.
Yeah, I think it was a 2026 type of thing, but it is a co-op. It's a puzzle adventure, anime sci-fi they call it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's looking like 2026.
Yeah, it just says 2026.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I watched the trailer for this one. I think it looks really cool. I have no idea what the actual gameplay for this is based
It's
on the trailer.
hard to
I can
tell.
see that
Yeah.
there's a lot going on, but I can't tell what the player is actually doing
Yeah.
to affect what's going on. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yes, exactly. Definitely leaning into the anime side of things. But I love, yeah, like you said, there is definitely some vibe. I don't know what era also, like the girl's got blue hair, but the big eye, like the big anime eyes, it looks like it's from a specific time, maybe late 70s, early 80s, or I'm guessing. I don't know though, but it looks really, really cool. So if you like that sort of thing, check that one out. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put the trailer in as well. So you will see it while we're talking.
And there is
Yeah.
one other interesting thing about this. In the
Yeah.
press release, it says it's published by Kepler Interactive,
Hmm.
which I'm mentioning because that is the video game publisher and creative studio behind Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yes, right, of course. So that's pretty cool, and that gives us more, I guess, hope that Clair Obscur would come to Switch 2 if they're already working with Nintendo on other games. And it's interesting that this one is exclusive to Switch 2 as well. Probably, it could be a timed exclusive, but yeah, that's pretty interesting that they're doing it kind of the other way around with this one. This one's only Switch 2, and then
Yeah.
maybe at some point it'll go to other consoles. So yeah,
Well, see,
that's really
we
cool.
can swap. We'll
Yes.
trade games with the other systems, and we'll all be good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy with that. I like that because you can't have everything at once, right? We have this big backlog otherwise, so maybe that's not a nice way to do it. Very cool. The last announcement from or that we're gonna talk about from the Game Awards is a new Star Wars racer, and this one, I think it's called Galactic Racer, is not actually listed for Switch 2, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it is a Star Wars game. It is a race, so people were very excited. They loved that pod racing, game from many years ago.
Oh, that
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is not a sequel, not a direct sequel. I believe it's more like a spiritual successor. Like, it is racing, there is pod racing, but it's more about racing in general across the galaxy. It is a shame that Switch 2 wasn't mentioned initially, but, I would hope again that this would be something that would come to Switch 2 at some point because it
Did
is.
they mention the other consoles
They
or just
did.
PC? Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
with this one they did. Yeah, it's coming to Xbox and PS5. So that was why it was definitely missed. Switch 2 was definitely omitted from that list. And maybe they will. Maybe they haven't got that contract signed yet, or maybe they're just not ready for porting it. Maybe they're doing it first for these consoles and then they'll deliver it to others. Maybe that'll be a separate announcement. They didn't want to make it at the same time. Like for
They
example,
they wanted to save it for a direct.
yeah, exactly. It could be. It could be that. Just like the fact that Pragmata was announced as coming to Switch 2 separately, like that it was already coming to other consoles. Now we know it's coming to Switch 2. Perhaps they're saving it for a separate, announcement. So, which is fine. We'll see. We'll see. But it could be cool. Could be fun. People seem very excited about that one. What are we? How are we going for time here? We are chewing up the time. Let's move on to Kirk's corner and see what unless you had anything else to say about Game Awards.
Oh, well, I don't think we should skip over
You don't want to skip the
yeah.
okay.
No, because I have to complain.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's do that then. So there is another piece of news, which is that Wario World for GameCube is now available on the Switch Online Classics. And the reason I was going to skip over this is because I haven't tried it, and I wanted to before the show, and I just didn't get around to it. So apologies for that.
Yeah.
I will try to try it during the week. I have never played this game. Um, I love Wario. I obviously love Mario. This is a 3D Wario. Is it the only 3D Wario, I think, that ever
I
existed?
think so. Yeah, the only Wario games I know, aside from like the early one, like what there was a Game Boy game where what the WarioWare, what is it?
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
really that thing.
Yes, mhm. So what's your perception of this one then?
I don't have a perception. I'm mad because it's not Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Oh, of course.
Why do they
Yes.
keep doing this to me?
Another month, yep. So they seem to be releasing a game a month now. The collection, I did see someone online complaining about that actually, not specifically about Fire Emblem, but just that the collection after 6 months is only, well, 6 games strong or whatever it is. But when you think about it, I suppose the Switch 2 did only come out in June. They probably could do 2 a month, maybe, maybe to
Yeah, I
help.
wonder if they just don't have a lot stocked up or ready to go, so they're really just
Mm,
slowing down these releases of the games they've already announced or had ready. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm tired of waiting for Path of
Yeah,
Radiance.
I know.
I've got it in my basement, and I'm not playing it there on the GameCube on the old CRT television because I'm going to get to play it on the Switch too,
Mhm.
and I don't want to wait anymore.
It's
So
almost like a lottery because you don't know in
yeah,
advance. It's just you're waiting all month and then, "Oh, here we go. What's happening on the GameCube this month? Oh, it's Wario World. Okay."
yep,
Yeah. Well, it's gotta be 2026. I have to say we've got 12 chances in 2026 if there's one a month. It has to be one of those 12. I'm
yeah.
willing to
Well,
bet that it's one of those 12. Surely. Right.
let's hope.
Let's hope, yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah, as I said, I don't know much about Wario World. I might try to give it a try. Try to try? I'm gonna try to try. We'll see. But I guess listeners, let us know if you're a Wario World fan, if you've tried it, if you like it. Should we try it? Is it a game we should be playing? Let us know, and I will take that recommendation on board. If it's not worth it, just tell me, and I will skip it. So, but let's move on to Kirk's corner and the game that is coming to Switch 2 that you wanted to talk about. What is happening?
This game, I don't know a lot about it. I'll have to state that up front. The reason why I'm including this one for the game I'm looking forward to is because it, I think, is going to be, with apologies to Kirby Air Riders
Oh, okay.
and to Mario Kart World, this is like a more realistic approach to racing. It's Gear Club Unlimited 3.
Mhm.
Is coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2 on February 19th. And it's going to be a limited time exclusive for the Switch 2. It's coming to
Cool.
PC and console versions to follow later in 2026. So again, a bit of the opposite of what we're used to. If you're a racing fan, like of cars that you get to, what, deck out, kit out. How do they phrase that?
Yeah,
Um,
either one, I think.
but yeah, it's a more realistic driving through the streets of Japan. I believe they said from France to Japan, but I think it's actually just France and Japan as opposed
Ah.
to every country, between them. But check out the trailer for this one. If you're at all a racing fan, look at this. The Switch 2 apparently is going to do a really, really good job with this kind of racing game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought it looked really slick and really smooth. And I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but I know when something looks like it's going to hit it, and I think this game is.
Yeah, it does look really nice, you're right. It comes out on February the 19th. Why do they put a full stop between gear and club?
I, I don't know.
I don't
Make
know
it
either.
easier to search.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Searching for gear.club is going to pull up more accurate results than Gear Club.
Yeah, potentially. It does look nice. It does look very realistic. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
I do like to say on the show that I'm not very good at racing games. I do like racing games though. I actually find them pretty fun because they're just different to, boss fights in Metroid or Hollow Knight. They're different to platforming or RPGs. It's just a different genre, and it is quite fun to drive around and race. Yeah, that's why Mario Kart is so popular. It's just and it's quite accessible. This is a realistic driving game, but we've all played
Yeah.
them. We've all played your what is it, Daytona and all those kind of classic ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, this looks really neat. Yeah, I think this is a good one. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll add real quickly, it looks like it has more than 50 tracks. It does say in France and Japan. It
Okay.
offers local split screen multiplayer for 2 players.
Nice.
It has a story mode. It has something called highway mode,
Right?
which it says offers unprecedented thrills. So I'm assuming that's not just you taking onto the car or taking the car onto the highway and driving to the next town.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, people weren't like
but
that.
yeah, so it looks like there's an awful lot to do in this too, not just visually entertaining, but gameplay wise,
Yeah.
could keep you entertained. So yep, check it out if you're a racing fan.
Yeah. Gear Club Unlimited 3. Very cool. Thank you. Let's move on to the games that we're playing at the tail end of the show. And we've got a nice little healthy list here. I will start. This is not something I've been playing a lot of, and it's an older game. It's Undertale, which I think a lot of people will at least have heard of. I'm assuming you've heard of this one, right?
Yes, yep.
Yes. I bought it this week because it was on sale, and I've been meaning to look into it since the sequel came out, which came to Switch to Deltarune. But I kind of read that you really need to play Undertale first, or it's better to play Undertale first. So it's been on my wish list, Kirk. You'll be pleased to know it's been on my wish list for some time. I did notice it was on sale, so I picked it up. It was it's not an expensive game anyway, but it was quite a good discount. I think I paid like $5 for it or something.
Oh,
This is
that's
Australian.
yeah,
Yeah.
$10 off.
Yeah. 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 It is, I'm not sure how old it is, but it's quite a few years old now. And I think it may even be older than the Switch version, as in it was ported to Switch at some point. But it's an RPG and it's kind of like that classic top down style. It's really retro in its graphics. It's very pixelated, but that's how it's meant to be. It's not like it's from the 80s and it's just kept in that tradition. It's probably 15 or 20 years old. I'm not sure exactly. Sorry, I should look that up. But it's made to look like an old school game. And it is a turn-based RPG. It's got a really quirky story. There's really interesting characters, and you can choose to. This is the even more interesting part: is you can choose to fight or not. Like when you battle something, I say something because they're really weird little creatures that you're fighting. They're not really humans. They're not really monsters. They're kind of monsters, I guess. You can fight them, or you can like talk to them or like give them compliments and things. It's very interesting. So, and my son Hayden, he has played this on Steam, so he's very familiar with it. He's finished it on Steam. He highly recommends it. So that was another reason why I wanted to try it. But you kind of, I think you have an alternate ending depending on how you fight or don't fight. So I've chosen the pacifist path, which I think is the one where you don't fight. I don't get any experience points though for doing that. So you don't level up at all. You don't get any stronger because you're just, complimenting them or talking to these creatures, and they sort of smile or get happy or walk away or whatever it is, right? So it's very different take. Or you can just attack them and kill them and get experience points and level up that way. So yeah, there's a lot of puzzle elements. You're kind of walking through this. I think you're a human in some sort of dream world or some sort of parallel universe or something. I don't really know exactly where it is, but very interesting premise, very interesting setup. Definitely interesting with the pacifist or aggressive style. So yeah, we'll see how I go with that one. I'll keep that one in the background as I go through the holiday season. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because it is a classic and it is interesting. And hopefully, if I get through this, then I can play Deltarune. So yeah. What are you playing, Kirk?
Well, we talked last week about me still playing Metroid Prime Remastered.
Hmm.
I just want to say that I did switch my controller scheme. I'm using Twin Stick with the Switch 2 Pro controller.
Oh, cool.
Um, and you're right, because lock on is fantastic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so easy
Yeah.
to, especially in some of the bigger monsters, not the bosses, but to just kind of like back up. You
Yes.
hit them while you're locked on, and they can attack you, but you've got all kinds of time
Yeah.
to get out of the way of their shots. So yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've gotten pretty far in it. I'm remembering that one of the things I didn't like, at least about the first one, a lot of elements of the first three kind of the Prime games blur together for me, but just figuring out where to go often
Mhm.
drives me insane.
Yeah.
They will show you on the overworld map, oh, there's a thing over here you can get now. no idea how to get there. And I'm going back and forth and trying different things and trying to get to things I can't get to yet.
Hmm.
And then taking paths that aren't the fastest way and ends up I had to go a different way to get there. So doing the whole thing without a walkthrough, although is much less stressful because I'm not worried about doing everything right. It's also
Hmm.
much more annoying because I end up just wasting a lot of time trying to figure stuff out. So
Yeah. Yep.
we'll see if Metroid Prime 4 guides me a little bit better. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so. I definitely still get lost, honestly, and I have been playing more of that this week as well. I haven't mentioned it in my list of games that I'm playing just because I did talk a lot about it last week, but I did want to clarify, and sorry to take away from what you're playing, but I did want to clarify that last week I said I'd gone to the ice area, and Josh, who was on the show, went to the flame pool, like the lava area, and we thought we could do that, but we you actually can't. So I discovered I was wrong. I went to the ice area and I had to backtrack to the flame area. I could not proceed without a certain weapon. So yeah, it is a bit more linear than I thought, but it's fine. I still get very lost. To answer your question, yes, I get very lost. I get very frustrated at times, but that's I feel like that's a me problem because I just sometimes the answer is right in front of me and I just don't know, I don't see it. But yeah, I do feel your frustration there a little bit. I think Metro Prime 4 is better, a little better in that way. Like it's I haven't had too many issues. I haven't had to backtrack a whole lot, but there is definitely some of that for sure.
Yeah, and I don't even really mind the backtracking if I know where I've got to backtrack to.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good
a lot of
point.
times I'm just guessing, and you may be in one of those big rooms that has 4 different exits.
Mhm.
Like it's so hard for me. And the map.
Mm.
Um, like at one point, I pulled up the map, and Sam was looking at it, and he's like, "I don't even understand what I'm looking at right now."
Yeah.
Like you get used to it.
Yeah, well, the map is very it's sprawling.
Yeah,
It's huge and it's kind of 3D as well, which I think makes it
yeah.
slightly more confusing to me. I just want to see a flat map, but,
It
but it
behaves weird with the
it
controls too. Maybe there's a
does.
way to adjust that, but yeah.
I definitely zoom out usually because it just the default view for me is like, what am I doing? I don't know where to go from here. So I just zoom out and then I rotate it, and that seems to help. But yeah, it is an interesting thing. I guess I'm more used to 2D games and 2D maps. So like I said last week, I don't play a lot of first person games, but that's just me as a player. But it's certainly a fun time for sure. I still need
Yeah,
to
oh, they're
finish my
great
review.
games.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic.
Aside from that complaint, so well done.
Oh, yeah, I am absolutely loving Metro Prime 4. It is beautiful, it's brilliant. I'm writing up my review, I've started to write that up. Hopefully that comes up out, hopefully around the same time the podcast airs, hopefully, if I get it written and proofed before then, because I wanna get up ASAP because, it is obviously a new game, it's a big game. But yeah, it's obviously a very good game. I would not listen to the naysayers online, I would definitely play this game if you can because it's great. But anyway, sorry, that was a little bit distracted from your Metro Prime Remastered. But let us know next week if you get to finish it because
All right, hopefully.
you've still got 2 weeks until Christmas.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I gotta have it done by December 24th.
yes. But I do have some exciting news. I have been playing Pokemon Legends ZA over the last 2 months. It came out mid October. I finished it last night. I am so proud of myself because I've just been loving this game and I've just been dabbling in it. It's obviously, you go from rank Z to rank A. I finally got to rank A. That's not the end of the game. There's a big battle after that. There's a whole thing. I won't go into the details because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but it is a very satisfying battle, very satisfying story. I think Trevor will agree. He reviewed this one, and I think he mentioned the end game was pretty good. Then there's the DLC, and the reason I really want to finish it is because you need to finish it for the DLC, and the DLC just came out last week, or the 4th, sorry, at the same time as Metroid Prime 4. So I've just started the DLC because I wanted to talk about that, which I'll probably talk more about next week because I've only just started the DLC. But yeah, I have really enjoyed my time with Pokemon Legends EA, and I'm happy to say that I did finally complete it. So
Hey, great.
yeah, feels like quite an accomplishment. There's a lot more to do. Of course, there's the side missions, there's all the Pokemon to collect in the wild zones, but the actual like main game done, credits rolled, love it. I feel very accomplished. So yeah, it's really fun.
Do you watch all the credits when they roll?
I do. Yes, I do. I feel
Yeah.
like it's even though they have no idea that I'm doing it, I want to acknowledge all the people who worked on this game. So yeah.
Well, and you never know, like, there's always gonna be one more little snippet of a cutscene, and when they're done, that'll
Yes,
tie something together.
exactly. And this one does do that. There is a
Okay.
cutscene, and then it's
Yep.
straight back into the game. And I don't know if that's because I have the DLC or not. Is it? No, I don't think so. Because what happens is after you defeat the sort of the end boss, and the whole city is kind of half destroyed, but they fix it up. There's an end scene which I won't tell because it's a bit of a spoiler, but there's a new wild zone that comes, and so there's more Pokemon to catch, and so you can straight away do that. You can straight away start playing again, so it's really neat. And then there's also the DLC, which is a separate area, and it tells you, oh, there's this new mission has opened up on the roof of the hotel if you want to go check that out. That's the DLC part of it, but you can easily just keep walking around and doing your side missions and collecting your Pokemon. So yeah, yeah, it's really cool. It's really well done, actually. The credits, and then this is not exclusive to Pokemon Legends, of course, but the credits looked quite beautiful. They had some really nice graphics in the background, just some stills of the characters and the environments. Very lovely, honestly. It was a pleasure to watch these credits. I even took some screenshots because I'm like, this is just really nice.
Nope.
So
Yeah, cool.
yeah, really, really cool. Really, really cool. So yeah, I feel I love I don't often get to finish games that I'm playing for fun. I just don't get around to it, but I have made a concerted effort with this one. Partly for the DLC, but partly just wanted to feel that sense of accomplishment. And partly because I've just enjoyed it, like you were saying earlier, with the years in review. I've just enjoyed this game a heck of a lot. So yeah, I really wanted to do that. I will yeah, it should show up on my year in review. I reckon October, it'll be my game of October probably, and maybe November.
I was
So
going to ask, top 5, top 10? Do you think it'll make it that high?
oh, it'll be top 10 for sure.
Okay.
As in like gameplay wise, as game
Yeah,
time wise, yeah.
game time.
I'd say so. It's definitely closing in on, I think it's around 40 hours or so, this one.
Okay.
So, and I don't play the types of RPGs that you play that I spend hundreds of hours in. So 40 hours for me is pretty good. Yeah, so it'll definitely be up there. As I said, I think Hollow Knight will be my number one just because I know I've spent a long time on that one. This one might be number 2 or 3 though, honestly. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. But you've got another game to talk about, which I'm interested which one you mean here, but
Well, that's the thing. Our Nintendo fans will be happy to know that I saved this until the very end, but playing Donkey Kong, or about to, I should say, on my Intellivision Sprint, which arrived
Oh.
this week.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Now,
nice.
it's not actually, of course, bundled in. There are 45 games you get bundled in with this
Mhm.
with the Sprint. But as I mentioned, it's got the USB port, and if you have the ROM for the game, which I don't understand the legality of it, because
Yeah,
apparently it's
yeah.
illegal to download them. But if you own the game, you can. But every time somebody's talking about, like, go get the ROM, nobody ever gives a link. Nobody ever says where to get them. Like, well, I'm not allowed to say. But
Yeah.
then why am I allowed to? Anyway, because I own the physical cartridge, I'm apparently allowed to get the ROM. But anyway, yes, you can
Okay.
plug it into the back and play the, Donkey Kong. I think, did I say? I believe that's the only Nintendo game, because they didn't release Carnival. Carnival was another game that was in the arcades, and I thought it was
Mm.
Nintendo, but maybe that was
Ah,
Capcom.
I don't
Um,
know.
but there are Data East games that were released for the Intellivision that playing. Cubert
Mhm.
is one of them.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Burger Time I've mentioned, and as I think I've mentioned before, the Intellivision version of Burger Time is the best of all Burger Times I've ever played, including the original arcade game. I don't know
Right.
why, but it was just so much better on Intellivision.
I don't know that I've ever
Uh,
played Burger Time. Is that where you have to make food?
it's well, no, it's like it's almost like the blue level, whatever the final level of Donkey Kong,
Oh, okay.
except that instead of, you have to run over burger pieces to make them drop, and as you drop all the layers of the burger, you complete the burger at the bottom, but you're being chased by a pickle, you're being chased by an egg, and other things, and so you need to avoid them as you're trying to drop all these burger pieces on top of each other, and each level, of course, has a different design, so you complete one, you move on to a different setup.
Cool. That was actually on a whole bunch of systems, that one. Television.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It was on the NES as well. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I've reviewed versions of Burger Time for the Switch too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it still gets updated.
I'll have
Yeah.
to check that out. Yeah, 1982 originally. Huh. Very cool. I've never tried it.
No,
Yeah. I'll have to have a look online and
but
see if I can find a version. A legal version.
yes, a
Yeah.
legal version.
Yes. So 45 games, are they on the system, like built in kind of thing? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you turn it on, and, it's got these USB controllers that you can, obviously, they used to be attached, via cable
Mhm.
to the system, but now they're USB, so you can pull them off. I did let my kids play a couple games. They're terrified of it because the graphics are, so bad by
Yeah.
comparison, and the Intellivision keypad is so different from any gaming controller that was ever released,
Yeah.
except maybe the ColecoVision kind of adopted the same approach.
Mhm.
But I tell you, we started playing Slam Dunk Super Pro Basketball and a game called Snafu, and they
Mhm.
were both totally into it after a while and
Nice.
just having a good time. So
Aw.
it won't last, the novelty will wear off quicker for them than it does for me. But there
That's
you go.
neat.
So
That is so
yeah,
cool. I'm glad to hear that arrived, and that there is a Donkey Kong version. Did you say when you talked about this originally, is that Donkey Kong version not very good?
it's awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
like even the audio, it's like really janky. The audio's off. The colors are bad. It's only got two levels. Very fun to play for like just to experience it,
Yeah.
but yeah, not a game anybody who would have paid what $30 for the game back in the day would have been pleased with it.
I wonder because you don't see Nintendo games on other consoles often, right?
Yeah,
Like, how did that happen?
I don't know how or why, because it was originally released for the ColecoVision. Like that was the big game that you could get on the ColecoVision. I believe this was even before the NES. So the only way you could play Donkey Kong at home was to get
Ah,
it on the ColecoVision.
yeah.
But for some reason, Coleco made it. I think they even did it for Atari. They made Intellivision versions too, but it's almost like they made them bad on purpose because they wanted the good experience to be on the ColecoVision system. And on the ColecoVision, Donkey Kong actually was really good.
Right, okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's a weird thing to shoot yourself in the foot, I guess. Oh, well, that's cool. Very interesting. Yeah, cool. So that was it is it the Sprint? Is that what you said it was called? Intellivision Sprint?
Yes.
Yes. So that's just
Yeah.
come out.
And
You pre-ordered it ages ago, now it's just been released.
yes,
Yeah.
it just came out. December 4th was the actual release date. And if any of our listeners are interested, it's $150 and available through Atari.com.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. It's sort of like, Nintendo released those mini NES, and
Yes.
mini Super Nintendos. I think Sega even did a mini something,
Yep.
Genesis maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar thing
And there
with
was
games inbuilt.
one of the Intellivision like this before, that the the problem with the previous one is it still used like the old connectors, so you almost had to find an old CRT television, like, what,
Mhm.
the RCA jacks, is that what they called them?
Oh, yeah.
Component, composite, I can't even remember, I
Yeah.
used to know.
Yeah.
But it didn't work on modern systems, but, or modern televisions, but this one has an HDMI connector, so you plug it in and it looks good on your TV that you actually use, not the one buried in, your basement.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, overall a better system, a better way to, present these
Yeah.
kind of games.
That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that trip down memory lane, that nostalgic view of things. Let us know, listeners, if you are into Intellivision as well, and if you actually have the Sprint. That would be cool to know, and what your favorite game is on that system. We'd also love to know if you're playing Metro Prime 4 or any of the Metro Primes, which is your favorite. What do you think? Have you finished Pokemon Legends like me? Else are you playing this week? We'd love to know all of those things. Um, Anything else you wanted to touch on before we close things off for the week?
Nope, I think I lost everyone with the Intellivision, so I'll quit now.
No, we love it. It's all good. Well, thank you so much, Coke, for joining me this week. Thank you, listeners. If you'd like to follow us, we are on Blue Sky. You can head on over to there and see what we're up to. If you would like to support us and get yourself a copy of the Pure Nintendo magazine, you can head over to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo and join our list, and you'll get it delivered. The next issue will be delivered to your door. Stay tuned for more information about that in the new year. I think that brings us to the end of the show, though. So thank you, everybody. And until next week, game on, everyone. Bye.